back to a video of making Italian sausage pasta with broccoli. You don't have to add the broccoli, but if you want to, just do it. So this is how it goes. So you're gonna need 2 cases of Italian sausages, doesn't matter what brand. Any noodles, they do not have to be this brand or this shape, just any noodles. And you're gonna need Parmesan that you cut or Parmesan that is just in a case. So what you'll need is a cutting board, kitchen scissors, and if you don't have kitchen scissors, you can just use regular scissors that are clean, and the biggest knife you can find, and a tray. Okay, so first you're gonna cut your package open. Take out one of the sausages. And there will be a smaller skin, so you're just gonna dig it in there, and you're gonna kind of take the skin off. Okay, and then just peel it off. Okay, it's kind of disturbing. Okay, so once you have that, you're just gonna have this like weird meat. And you're gonna take a piece off and just roll it into a tiny meatball. It does not have to be a perfect circle. Okay? Okay, and I'll be right back. Okay, guys, once you finish making all of your meatballs into a circle, you're just going to have your parents start the stove for you, or you can start it yourself if you're an adult. You take some olive oil, and you're just gonna put a little bit, like a drizzle, a little bit more than a drizzle, on the pan. And you might need 2 pans for this. Okay. Now you're going to put half on this one, and then half on the other one. Okay? Once you've been cooking for a little bit, you're just going to take some tongs and just turn them a little bit onto a raw side. And if you have a meat thermometer, then you're going to put it to an internal temp of 165. But obviously they're wrong right now. So when you think they're not raw, then you can stick it in there and see if it's 165. And I'll get back to you guys after. Bye. Okay, now while your meatballs are cooking, you can go ahead and start chopping the veggies. And you can do any vegetables for this recipe. We just had broccoli and bell peppers on hand, so that's what we're going to be using. Alright, so with the bell peppers, well, if you have bell peppers, then, well, before doing this, if you don't feel comfortable with a knife, go get your parents to stand next to you or have your parents do this. I've done this many times, so I am fine with doing it by myself. So first, you're just going to cut all the sides off like this. And beforehand, try not to get the seeds, because like the seeds are like really spicy. So try not to get those. Okay, so you don't really need to get all of this. So this is pretty much all you need to do. And once you have your bell peppers like this, you're gonna cut them into thin slices like this. So like that, or like this. Try not to make them like slim. They don't have to be really skinny, just like maybe like this. So yeah. I'm going to finish cutting these. Every once in a while, you're going to check on your meatballs. And when you think they might be done, you're going to take your meat thermometer if you have one. And you're just going to stick it into the thickest part of the meatball. And it has to be at 165 for it to be done. And it's at 165, so that's perfect. So I think this one's done. And then you're going to just make sure that all of them are done. Okay, this one's done. And let's just make sure that we have more done. Okay, these ones are at 165, so they're done. So you're just going to turn me off the oven. And then that's all for the meatballs. So I removed my meatballs from the pan, and I put them in like a bowl, a dish, whatever. And now we're going to put our veggies in the same pan that we just cooked our meatballs on. But speaking of veggies, we're just going to finish my broccoli. And you don't have to use broccoli, that's what we had on hand. So if you have broccoli, you're just gonna cut it right here. And also you don't have to have veggies to this, that's what we're doing. So you're gonna cut it right here. Okay, put the stem away. And then you're gonna take off all this like light green like this off and just cut them into bite-sized pieces. So maybe like this, and it doesn't have to be this small, but I'm just gonna toss it into my veggie bowl like these. So like once you have like this broccoli, you're just gonna like maybe cut it in half and it'll just make these tiny little pieces. Okay, and I'll be right back. So when I am done cutting my veggies, I'm going to use the same pan I cooked my meatballs with, and I'm just going to put all my veggies and just put it in there, and keep the the olive oil you put in earlier in there for flavor. Just going to dump it in, and while that's happening, I have my pot of water over here for the pasta, and you can season it with whatever. I'm just using salt. You can use garlic, onion, pepper, salt, anything works. I'm just using salt. Okay, see you later when I'm done with this. So while we're letting our veggies cook, which those will cook till about 8 minutes till they're softened, we are going to shred our Parmesan. You don't have to shred it, you can buy it in like the pre-shredded packages, but we're just shredding it ourselves. So if you have one of these, or you can use like the graters like that, we're just going to shave it, which we're shaving a lot. We don't care how much you do, but we're just going to shave it until we have like a lot. Or at least till it ends up out. Okay, but we'll see you later when we're done. Everything else is done. We're nearing the end, and my pasta is almost done. And we're gonna keep it cooking till al dente, which means like firm, so it just makes the pasta better. But first, we're gonna take a cup, and if you don't have a cup, just maybe ask your parents if you have one. But you're gonna take some of the water and be very careful so you don't make sure not to burn yourself, or ask a parent or an adult. You're going to take a cup, and I didn't get a full cup, so I'm probably just going to do it again. And we're going to reserve this water to make, and I'll tell you why we're reserving it for later. It just will make the pasta come all together. So I'm just going to get a cup, or it doesn't have to be perfect. So once I have a cup, we're just going to wait till the pasta's al dente, and I'll see you guys later. So my mom's strained the noodles for me, and or you can just use any parent. It doesn't have to be your mom. So first, we're just gonna put everything in the pan where the veggies are in. I will put the meatballs in first. So I'm just gonna dump those in, and then once I dump those in, I'm just gonna stir them up a little bit so it's like nice and nice. Once that's done, you can just dump anything in any order. I'm just going to do the parm next. So, like that. And then with the noodles, I usually save half for a pasta salad that I eat for lunch the next day. So, you don't have to do this. You can pour them all in. I just pour half. So I'm just going to pour half. Now we'll just pour in the reserved water and then stir till everything's yummy. Okay. And then let's just stir it up. Okay, I'll see you guys when this is done. Okay guys, here's the finished product. It looks really good. Okay, so it looks nice. So we're just going to try it. This is so good, guys. You should really make this. I give it 5 stars. Okay, guys. The kitchen's closed. Bye.